Welcome, everybody. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. I don't have my water bottle. This could be a problem. Oh, my goodness. I might have to take an extra break today. I think I left it in the vehicle. Anyway, I used to say Jeep. I think I left it in the Jeep. I finally broke myself of that habit because the Jeep was totaled. I have a different vehicle now. But left it in the car, as we say here in the Northeast. Anyway, in New England. Welcome. It is that time, though. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. Streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. And welcome all of you. By the way, I want to remind you, of course, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. I can see them from here, except I've got the shade down, so I really can't see them from here because when I got here, the sun was right in my eyes. It was just right at that level. And then by the time, it gets dark so early this time of year, by the time I get on the air, the sun's gone down completely, and then it's dark, and then it's so weird. It's weird when it's already dark out when I go on the air at 4 p.m. But anyway, the Hop Knot, they are open. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. You can even have alcohol delivered. It's an amazing thing and an amazing place. Please check them out. And we have our first call already. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Eazy-G.
Eazy-G, Eric Gagnon, our entertainment reporter. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing halfway decent.
Halfway decent.
I find myself saying this a second day in a row, but what a difference 24 hours could make.
Second day in a row.
It's like an inside joke.
I know, right? What a difference a day makes would be an easier way to say it.
We won't go into that messy situation, but anyways, to change the subject, funny, after that crazy knockdown show yesterday, I was so tired when I got back because I had been
exhausted.
up to 12:30 a.m. earlier yesterday.
Really?
So I went right to bed at 6 o'clock, and I didn't get up till like 2 a.m.
Wow.
I got up for half an hour at 11 o'clock, got a little something to eat, and I said, that's it, I'm going back to bed. So I got 8 hours sleep, and I just woke up for another hour and a half nap.
That was me Tuesday night.
Finally got some rest.
Good. It is exhausting.
Most rest I've had in 2 months.
Let's be honest, doing this show is exhausting, Eazy-G. I'll tell you what, we're only 8 minutes in, and already I'm spent.
I was so tired when I got home. I said, that's it, I'm lying down.
Yeah, good for you.
I never do that. I never lay down and go sleep at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I was tired.
Sometimes you got to take a stand and say, that's it, I'm lying down, which is actually the opposite of standing.
I like to give you a shout-out right now.
Ooh.
I know a while back you said, hey, Eric, if you're going to do something, you have to say, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
So I've reached out to 10 people about this. I'm thinking about next November, Goffstown High School 35th reunion party.
Ooh.
And I reached out to the one and only Amanda McCarthy today.
She went to high school with you?
No, but I reached out to her about that situation yesterday. And of course, I had to give her an update later today, but we won't talk about that.
Right.
But anyway,
well, we can.
I always steal that phrase from Carol Robert. Who doesn't like a happy ending?
Well, there's a few different directions we could go with that, Eazy-G, but we
won't go there.
That's more for the other
Amanda
show.
Amanda McCarthy and Tom possibly will be if I can get it approved by the rest of my team, but they will be the entertainment for next November.
At what?
I don't know all the dirty details, but she says I definitely can do it 100%. It was funny because then I forgot about Tom, so I got a couple hours later. I said, hey, how about Tom tags along? She goes, yeah, we can definitely make that happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, Eazy-G, Scott Robinson is in the Facebook live chat. He says, can I get the Amanda McCartney tour dates real quick, please, Eazy?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. She's only doing a few tour dates between now and January 2nd because it is the Christmas holidays.
Yes.
And she does have a 6-year-old daughter to Roy running around the wherever she's living at now.
Tennessee. I believe, in Nashville.
Right. She may be a little focused on Christmas, I'm thinking,
yeah.
her daughter.
She should be extra careful because she has a young daughter because...
oh, I know. I hear you there. But it's funny, so I have Facebook a couple people about this dream of mine about having this reunion party with the help of other people. I can't do this all myself. So I have a couple people that are on my good list, no S list.
You're keeping a list?
One lady says I can help out at the end. So I wrote it down, and then another lady says, I can help out.
Everyone loves a happy ending.
Keep me informed.
Uh-huh.
And of course, a lot of people brought up the COVID, said, we if we're going to gather, one lady's a health worker. I said, yeah, you're right. That's why I'm going to think about having it next November. But God willing,
take care of the
we
prostate.
could gather at that time. You don't have to worry about the mask anymore and social distancing. Cause, right now, Matt, obviously it's not a good idea to have 35 or 30 people in a room together.
No, unless you're having a party at the White House. Then it's, have at it.
Right, that super spreader, yeah.
Yes,
so we're going to try to do things the proper way. So
Right.
We don't want the Channel 9 showing up at our reunion party and there was a super spreader there. So
Right.
That would not be good.
No, that would not be good. But I'm confused. So it's the 35th what? The 35th class reunion
Goffstown
thing?
High School reunion party.
Have you gone to, do you do that? Like, do you go to high school reunions? I've never.
I have. The first one was 15 and it really stunk.
Why?
I don't know. This was a lousy party. I hope nobody's listening that was there. But
oh, well, they're probably very offended.
The 30th reunion party was a lot better because I helped out a lot.
Oh, well, Eazy-G makes everything better.
But I wasn't able to push through the Amanda McCarthy thing, so I'm hoping now it's 5 years later. Wouldn't that be awesome to get the lady a gig? And I'll get the Eazy-G discount.
Wow. Is that a euphemism?
Back then it was a Derek Gagnon, but I think she was willing to give me $100 off. But see, the only problem was the lady in charge of the whole party was another guy. Didn't really know who the heck she was and didn't have I think it was $250 to give her. I didn't have any cash on me at the time. So. But, like I said, so it's me and another lady, and another lady can help out at the end. So we're trying to get this all worked out because it's good to get these things going way ahead of time. So
all these people involved, it sounds like a lot of chefs in the kitchen, Eazy-G.
Because it's a lot of details, the dirty details we have to figure out.
Dirty details? Oh, my. What kind of a party is this going to be? Sounds scandalous.
You got to get the decorations. You got to get people to come. You got to get tickets. And, and then reach out and a shout out to my friend Laura, the animal lady. She came up with like 100 different things to do. So I'm going to write it all down.
She was on the morning show today.
She's big into fundraising and having situations over at the what's that place on the Manchester, the ski place?
Oh, McIntyre.
Yeah, so she's organized a lot of different celebrations over the years because that's what she does.
Yes.
So I reached out to her and I'm going to write it all down. So she came up with this place and I might check out this place and do it over here. You might be able to get a place for free. And I said, wow, free is good. Free is great. I like free. I went to Foundry 5 years ago this coming year, and it would cost like $85 for the ticket. $85 for a ticket? Yeah. Well, that place is very expensive, so I'm thinking the Foundry is out. Wow. Too high price. That's about $84 more. If we can offer the place for free, maybe we can get like 100 people to come. Wow. I think a lot of people didn't come 5 years ago. $85 is a lot of money, even though I paid it, but. Right. That was stretching it for me. I don't think I made $85 for anything my whole life. Like you like to say, I'm a cheap SOB. I do say that, yes. So if I can go to a party and get the room for free, and that would be a great deal. Well, I work in radio. I don't ever have any money. By the way, Eazy-G, did you end up? We won't say who, but I am curious. Did you end up accepting the friend request that you received? I did, because you told me the why not, So. Why not be friends with her? And right. I guess we'll leave it with this thought for the listeners and the Facebook Live. I guess the person we're talking about missed me. So. Oh, she missed you. Help her. Ooh, maybe she likes you a little bit, huh? Mm-hmm. I don't know, because she has a boyfriend now. So. Oh well, hey, is there a ring on that finger? No, there is not. Well, then, hey, But like a good buddy of mine says, if you can't influence your environment, guess what? The environment influences you. Wow.
What?
It's an old Curcio statement. It's not really my friend's statement.
It's a what?
I went back in '93. It's a 3-day church event.
It's an old Navy SEAL.
But anyways, maybe it can be another one of those situations where it's a miracle on Elm Street.
Right.
I think it's what it would take for that particular person to change their opinion. It was funny. A friend of mine reached out to me that wasn't to the show yesterday for the first time.
Oh.
I can repeat his name because he wants to be called kept it under the table. He said, "Wow." He said that was an interesting show. I listened to about half an hour of it. I researched the song. He goes, "Wow, really bad song," because he's all into the science of wearing the mask and being careful and everything like we are.
Yeah.
And I said, "Wow." He said, "You were a little mean to her yesterday." I thought. I said, "Well, she was a little mean to us back."
Yeah. She was a little snarky with me when I tried to be polite and professional when I messaged her and told her that she was disinvited, and she was a little snarky in return. But whatever.
It's just like I say, it's just I chalk it up to another weird event in 2020.
Yes, what a strange year it's been.
Well, like I said, I've been talking to this particular person almost every day for a couple of times a day for a month. So
wow.
Oh yeah, and I'll leave it
She
with this.
missed you.
My final thought of the day. I don't want to clog up the lines, but she was telling me when I first responded to her, she said, "Was there something wrong with your Facebook page?"
What do you mean?
So I just responded to, "I don't know what happened, but I said I'm back in action. Is there anything I can do to help you?"
Well,
so guess the person
nice.
said, "I think I'm all set, but she goes, I do have something that I want to send to you, and eventually I'll bring it in so I can show you off the air."
Wait, she sent you something?
Yeah, well, I'll show you what it is off the air when I come in next week.
Okay. Huh. I'm
a little pregame.
Very curious.
Well, I like I say, I don't want to give this particular person any airtime on the radio. So.
Right. It's nice that
I'm gonna take things nice and slow.
Okay, I'm genuinely very curious. What?
I'm still not going to promote her stuff on my Facebook page, so I'm going to keep
things
a little bit slow right now. See what happens, Put my toes into the ocean a little bit.
Sure, I think that's wise, Eazy-G. I think that's wise. Yeah. Oh, by the way,
it's enough of my foolishness. I'm going to clear the lines and have a good day.
All right, Eric. Thank you for the call. Take care. Bye bye. Well, I'm very curious. What? I'm just very curious. I didn't get a chance to ask Eric because, when he decides he's done, he's done. But he did message me. He was very upset that Sting apparently showed up on this week's edition of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite on TNT. Sting is 61 years old, and Eric hates when the old guys come back. It's very upsetting to him. Anyway, so that opens up a line for you, 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. Of course, you can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. We'll say hello to everybody in there in a moment. But the best thing to do, of course, is to call us at 603-250-6007, and we can enjoy your dulcet tones. And we have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Oh, it opened it up for me, DJ Lady Stacie.
Hey!
Stacie Laughton here in Nashua.
Hey, Stacie, how you doing?
I'm doing, let's see. I'm kind of in a state of shock.
Oh, why is that? Were you watching
it's a good thing.
Wrestling and you saw that Sting came back? Oh, okay.
No, but that would have probably shocked me.
Yes, yes, of course.
But today it happened, and after 2012, and then having to work hard for 8 years, and sometimes doubting that a moment like this would happen, it finally happened, and I got sworn in on the call this morning, and it's been an interesting day because I guess my sometimes, because we've talked before, and I've actually was on the phone earlier with Tony D, so a big shout out to Tony D.
The Tony D Show, yes.
Yes, the Tony D Show, because he's been talking a lot about mental illness, and it's very helpful sometimes for for even me to hear about it. And then I called his show last night, but today, I'm just really, I guess some of my fears of, I'm confident that I could do a good job. I've been studying for it and everything else, but sometimes you start something new and you get your dreams are all right there in front of you, and you start to have because of mental illness. Sometimes you're like, am I going to be everything I hope to be, or that I promised to be? And I'm happy and I'm eager to get started, but I just, I really want to make something good out of this, and I don't want to mess it up for the citizens who, the 1,615 voters who trusted me to do this.
Yeah, of course. Well,
it's kind of a sobering day, I guess you could say, because I mean, you're with Jenny, and she served before, and I even referred to her as the honorable today.
Yep.
Sometimes, that even can be a lot to swallow, because I've always thought of myself as just, just like you, Matt, like everyone that listens and the people that I serve. But, now I am in that position, but it's like, I kind of just want to, just be, a good representative that's, still, resembles that of the people. And I want to do some good stuff. I know it sounds a little bit like, oh, she's doubting. I'm not really doubting. I'm just, it's an interesting day to say the least, to know that these authorities and privileges and powers that come along with being a state rep are now yours. And it's kind of, it can be a little bit overwhelming at first, but it's just that first day, because I'm sure after today, it'll be like, let's do this,
Sure.
But it's kind of a sobering day. And it's kind of that moment we've talked about before with Don COVID. I think he hit that sobering mark, but I don't think he hit it the right way. I think, he was probably a little scared like I am for this, but I'm for my position, but he was taking that. But, I think the fear didn't take him in the right direction. I think most of the time it should take us in the direction of, okay, take that fear and use that as your passion to do good for the people.
Right. Well, I think I think the anxiety and the fear that you might be feeling, and maybe I don't know if fear is necessarily the right word, but I think it's natural to feel somewhat anxious about it. But I think it's in a positive. It's coming from a positive place. You want to do well.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason you did this, is because you want to do well and you want to serve the people and your constituents and everyone who supported you, and I'm sure even the people who didn't necessarily support you, but who are your constituents. And so that comes from a positive place. You want to do well, you want to excel because you want to do well for the people, So I think that's
exactly
great.
It.
I think it would actually be troubling if you didn't have some anxiety and trepidation about it. It would be like, well, come on, this is a big deal, So.
Yeah, it is. And I also, while I have you on, I want to just give a shout out to my wife, Lindsay Groves. We call her DJ Zombie. She's been putting up with the brunt of my anxiety today. And so, she's a strong woman, especially a strong woman to be able to be with someone like me sometimes. So I know I told her I'd be calling, so if she's listening, I want to tell her I love her and I appreciate her.
Well, it's very nice, and I'm sure she's very proud of you.
Yes, and she keeps saying she is, and when I start doubting, that's when she gets on my case. And she puts me back in my lane. You know? I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you don't always need, like in your situation, Matt. I know you said you and Jenny are not married, but I'm sure both of you help each other when you start to go astray. You're like, hey,
of course,
get back in your lane.
Oh, absolutely.
I think everybody sometimes needs that special someone that keeps them grounded,
Definitely. Yep.
So,
that's
so
very,
you,
very accurate.
Thank you for, I'm sorry, yeah?
No, I was just saying that's very accurate, your assessment there.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
definitely. So, hey, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I can't wait to hear your show today, and I'm also going to be over at work, talking with Tony D on his show later too. So, just also while I have, because I don't think I've quite said it yet on your air. I've said it on my Facebook, but to anyone that might be listening to your show that's from Nashua or from my district, from my verbal words, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for a second chance. Thank you for trusting me, and I promise to do the best I can for you over the next 2 years.
Very good. Very good. Outstanding.
Thank you.
All right, Stacie. Thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Thank you, and we'll be in touch.
All right, sounds great. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, the Honorable Stacie Laughton just had been sworn in to be a state rep from the great city of Nashua, New Hampshire. So very exciting, and of course, I think it's normal and would be expected to you feel a little bit of nerves, right? A little bit of the jitters, but she wants to do well, and I think that's great. That's important. Well, that does open up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton. Email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, there's always the Facebook live chat. But best thing to do, give me a call, 603-250-6007. We'll say hello to everybody in Facebook or on Facebook in a moment. But quick programming note. So tonight at 6 p.m., because it is the first Thursday of the month, I will be making my monthly appearance on The Dr. Kevin Show, which you can find online. That airs on Ohm Times Radio, and that's Ohm, O-M, as in Ohm. ohmtimes.com/IOM is the direct link. The Dr. Kevin Show is from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. So right after this show, I will be calling in to that show as I do every month, and we'll be talking about politics, and there's always a myriad of things to discuss in the political realm. So I look forward to that. So if you get to the end of today's show here, if you get to the end of Matt Connarton Unleashed and you go, oh, no, I need more Matt Connarton. Well, there you go. You can get another hour of me on the Dr. Kevin Show on Ohm Times Radio. So that will be tonight from 6 to 7 p.m. Also, I did share the link in the Facebook live chat as well for anyone who wants to check that out. Let's see. Speaking of which, we'll say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. I see Wayne Noel. First one in today. Wayne is a top fan all the way from Michigan. Says, good afternoon, everyone. Eazy-G is in the Facebook live chat. He's a top fan. He called a few minutes ago. He says, what a day to be alive, Yahoo. Well, yes. I think every day is a great day to be alive, Eazy-G. What's the saying? Every day above ground is a good day. Unless you're a spelunker, in which case you're going to be spending some time underground. It's inevitable. Or maybe you're not necessarily below ground, but you're in caves. I don't know. I don't know anything about spelunking. I just remember from the video game Dig Dug that I used to play when I was a kid, and you were a spelunker, and you went around, but that was under the ground, right? Texas Michael Martineau is in the Facebook live chat. He's a top fan. He says, the weekly die-on is a replay tonight. They just postponed, FYI. Oh, okay. Well, that works out well for me because I won't have to leave this room to call into the Dr. Kevin Show. I can just sit here and call. Or perhaps I'll move over to the couch. Perhaps I'll sit next to the giant cardboard Peter Whitehead here in the studio. By the way, I just put it on for those watching online, I just put it on the big camera. This room, I'm just amazed. This has to top last year, the Miracle on Elm Street. They've been taking donations for that. Peter White and Matt Cushane, they team up for that every year. And they've been accepting donations on the morning show. And I'm just amazed. I swear to God, I think there's like double the amount of stuff in this room. You can't even, if you're watching online, you can't even see all the stuff that's on this wall here. It's just amazing. Very, very successful this year. So congratulations to those guys. Great job. I believe I thought they were accepting donations through tomorrow, but then I think Texas Mike had said it's actually December 11th. But anyway, yeah, make sure you check out the morning show for that to keep up with all of that. But just great job, everybody who donated, who has donated, who is going to donate, just amazing. So fantastic. It kind of helps to restore my faith in humanity. If you're a regular listener of the show, you know my faith in humanity has taken some hits because of COVID. But but my faith in humanity is somewhat restored when I see the way that people have been so generous, donating all these toys and money too, from what I understand, for the Miracle on Elm Street charity. So great job. Makes me feel good just to see it. Let's see. Anthony Richard, Tony D is in the Facebook live chat. He says, checking in. Good evening, Matt. Have a great show, brother. Tony D, of course, from the Tony D Show. Tony doesn't really get to call anymore because the show's on at the same time as me. So, let's see. Brian Mackey, who is a top fan all the way from Idaho in the Facebook live chat. Brian, of course, host of the No More Excuses podcast. And if you're watching online, you can see I've got my No More Excuses hat on. We recorded a brand new episode of No More Excuses last night, and that is up now on the YouTube and also on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page if you want to check that out. Wayne Noel says, looking a little lonely there, Matt. Oh, I'm never lonely here, Wayne, because we have the giant cardboard Peter Whitehead in the corner, always watching over me. Bobby Champagne is a top fan. He says, good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Bobby. Our friend Stacie Laughton, DJ Lady Stace, also the Honorable Stacie Laughton in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. Jenny is in the Facebook live chat. She says, shalom, peeps. I think the young people say that now. They say peeps. And the shalom, of course. I think Jenny's the only one to ever say shalom in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. Stacie says, hey, Honorable Jenny Coffee. Yes, Jenny, of course, was once a state rep. Actually, she was a state rep right here in New Hampshire when she and I met originally. Scott Robinson, who is a top fan. Oh, yep, I mentioned him already. He was asking about the Amanda McCarthy tour dates while we had Eazy-G on the phone. Let's see. Stacie says, Eazy-G can be my chief of staff. Oh, my goodness. Those state reps in New Hampshire don't have chiefs of staff. He can manage my stuff. Eazy-G gets all kinds of job offers. Chief of staff, booking agent, roadie, all of that. Scott Robinson says, I think Eazy should be your sidekick on every show. He can be your Artie Lang. I don't know if we want Eazy-G to be Artie Lang, though. So for those who don't know, of course, Artie Lang was a part of the Howard Stern show for many years. He had replaced Jackie the Joke Man Martling. But I don't know if we want Eazy-G to be Artie Lang because Artie got into a lot of trouble with, drugs. And, I think his nose is still messed up. In fact, I'd hate to see that happen to Eazy-G. We want to keep Eazy-G on the path, on the straight and narrow. We want to keep him healthy and vibrant, and we don't want him to end up going to rehab. So, but I do enjoy having Eric here. Absolutely. Let's see. We have another call. Busy show today. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I know that voice. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good. We don't hear from you much anymore, but I know you're on the air at 5, and I assume, the hour leading up, you're preparing for your show, the Tony D Show, online.
Yeah, I just finished up, so I figured I'd give you a call.
Yeah.
I wanted to let you know, I have Michael Gearson, columnist for the Washington Post, coming on next Thursday.
Really?
And yes, I've been going back and forth with the Instagram and the Twitter, which is absolutely phenomenal to use for networking. So I have a lot of questions about the vaccine for him this week. So he wrote a column about 2 weeks ago about the vaccine, and it was a very intriguing article. So I reached out, and I reached out via email because all their email information is on the articles. So I reached out, and he got back to me. So he's giving me a 15-minute spot, but that's cool. You know, that's cool. So if you're free and you got some questions for someone at the comments, I would love to hear what you would have to say to them.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm on the air 4 to 6. At what point in the show is he going to be on?
6:30.
Oh, so that actually would work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
So where he wrote an article about funding for mental health about 2 months ago, and then he wrote an article about vaccines. So it's going to go hand in hand with one another with what I'm going to be talking to him about funding and how, you know, the UK is getting like $1.25 billion for like mental health funding for programs, and like America is only getting like $325 million. So there's just a lot of things that I want to, you know, discuss with him. So figured, you know, network with you, you know, let you get someone that you could have too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that sounds great. And so that's going to be Thursday of next week?
Yes, Thursday of next week.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Outstanding. Hey, by the way, how are you how are you feeling? I know you had the COVID test. It came back negative, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're good. We're back to work. Everything's up and running. Things are a little bit crazy though down here. I mean, I think the fear of it now after the scare, it's a little bit deeper than it was before.
Yeah.
I mean, I was scared of it before, obviously, but it's the fear of just like, hey man, you know, you want to stay like a little bit further away from me? Like, can you move over there? Can you move over there a little bit? Like, please don't be up on me. I'm tending to see myself ask people to do that, and they are respecting it. So,
that's good.
A lot of people will turn around and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, but no, we're good.
Good.
We're good. My aunt has it though, and she's in South Carolina.
Oh no.
So, yeah, she has it, but she's on day 8 of symptoms from so she tested positive like 9 days ago, but she's 8 days in on symptoms, and she doesn't have it. She's very achy. She's very fatigued, but she's starting to gain traction. She doesn't have no respiratory stuff. She doesn't have no cough or nothing like that.
Okay.
So my prayers are, you know, hopefully being answered with that.
Yeah.
I just found out about that 3 days ago. So
okay.
But she works for children. She works in a pediatric office.
Yeah.
So you know, who knows where she got it from? But she said, you know, right now it just feels like a flu, but like 50 times worse. That's what she's feeling. It's weighing her down.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's. I mean, just having the flu is terrible. So, you know, 50 times worse. That's pretty bad. But you said she's kind of
the first thing she didn't lose her taste, because when she lost a sense of her smell, but when she like eats though, she can still like have a taste, even though like I find that weird, because if you lose your sense of smell, like sometimes you lose your taste, but she said she could still taste food.
Yeah.
But she definitely lost her smell, because her house, she said that she talked to my dad, that the whole house has like the pine stuff in it for Christmas. She can't even smell it.
No kidding.
She can't smell any of it. She said, from according to my dad, it's like a crazy like voodoo thing. Like it like makes her lose her appetite. So. Oh
wow. Well, hopefully that comes back for her. I don't know. I mean, you know, come to think of it, I don't even know. Do people when they lose their sense of smell and or taste, does that come back usually or no?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
I mean, I imagine some of these long haulers, they call them, people who have long-term effects from it. I imagine part of that would be not necessarily regaining those senses, which is terrible. But yeah, well, yeah.
I found the article interesting today that former President Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama are going to get the vaccine as soon as they can, and they're going to make a campaign thing, like commercial, to push it out to the people that, like, hey, you know, it's safe to take. I thought that was pretty cool today to see that, them teaming up to do that campaign thing.
Yeah, I saw that too. They're willing to do that on camera, get the vaccines administered to kind of show people that it's safe. I'm skeptical though that people the people who are reflexively anti-vaxxers to begin with, I'm skeptical that those people are going to believe Bill Clinton and George W. Bush and Barack Obama. I think I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
After this scare, I was the person that was like, I'm getting the vaccine. Like,
yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
I
just wanted to wait a little bit, like maybe 3 months to see some, see some statistics and stuff like that. But now I'm like, give it to me now. Just give it to me now.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Just give it to me now. I'm ready. I'm ready to begin getting back to some type of normalcy.
Yeah. Well,
but,
and it's being administered in the UK first, so obviously, if there's anything to be,
isn't that crazy? It's an American made vaccine, and like we're not even through it yet to approve it, but the UK is ready to go. Like it just, I don't know.
Yeah, they might have a more stringent. They might have a less stringent approval process than we do. I'm not sure. I do want the FDA to make sure that it's safe and whatnot. So I'm not really bothered by that. Although I would ask.
I think by the end of December.
I would ask our president though. Hey, what happened to America first, huh, buddy?
Yeah. Is he going to be in line getting the vaccine? Are we going to see him getting the vaccine? That's what I'm curious. Are we going to see him getting it?
Well,
Operation Warp Speed, right?
Well, he doesn't need to hurry because he's already had it. So. He says he's immune.
It would just be, your right thing to do.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, anywho, I got to get on the air. I love seeing everything with the Christmas stuff. It's awesome.
Isn't it?
It makes you feel good about that. There's still some good people in this world. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it does restore some of my faith in humanity that's been severely damaged.
Stop being a Scrooge.
I'm trying. Bah, humbug. All right. I can't help it.
All right, Matt. Have a good rest of your show, brother, and then I'll catch up with you when I can, all right?
All right, Tony. Thank you for the call.
All right, be good.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, that was Tony D from the Tony D Show. Very good. From Philadelphia. Let's see. That opens up a line for you. Well, been a busy show so far. It's already almost 4:45. Jeez. 603-250-6007. We will be on all the way up to 6 p.m. because this week's edition of the Weekly Die-On is a replay. So, usually when there's a live show right after me, I end a few minutes early so I can wipe everything down, clean everything up, because we are in the era of COVID. But no live show right after me tonight, so we'll go all the way to 6. But that doesn't mean you should wait until the last minute. Give me a call sooner than that. 603-250-6007. Or you can text 617-917-4476. Let's see. You can tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. Speaking of programming notes, don't forget, of course, Friday nights now from 8 to 10 p.m. Well, I say now. It's been a few weeks. Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that program, along with our great friend Dan Randlett. And the three of us have a wonderful time. So make sure you join us for that Friday night, 8 to 10 p.m. right here on WMNH 95.3 FM and, of course, on the Retro Spectrum Radio Facebook page. Although we recommend that you go to the WMNH website, WMNHradio.org, and click Listen Live. Listen to the show there. You can participate on the Facebook, but listen to the show on the audio stream if you're listening from somewhere other than Manchester, New Hampshire with a radio, because the Facebook gets a little, we're still having that issue where they keep interrupting and blocking the video of Retro Spectrum Radio when we play music. We don't have that problem as much on this program because, well, I don't play as much music, but also when I do, I submit a dispute when they block my videos, and I usually win those. I appeal all of them. I usually win, and they kind of leave me alone now. By they, I mean the Facebook. Damn you, Zuckerberg! But anyway, let's see. Oh, yes, Eazy-G is in the Facebook live chat. I did mention after Eazy-G's call, Sting, come on, time to retire to the rocking chair. Now, for those of you who are not aware, if you're not a wrestling fan, you might not know this. No, we're not talking about Sting from the Police. and, of course, a stellar solo career as well. We're talking about Sting, the wrestler. But, yes, I did see the clip. He apparently has been signed to All Elite Wrestling at the age of 61. But from what I read online, he is not going to be doing anything physical. He's just an on-air character. So, but Eazy-G gets very upset. He doesn't like it when the old guys come back and come out of retirement. It really bothers him. Yeah, Texas Mike points out in the Facebook live chat that Sting is not going to wrestle. Texas Mike, of course, himself retired. He's a former AWA tag team champion from the 1970s with Blackjack Mulligan. And he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's see. Miriam Banish, who is a top fan, is in the Facebook live chat. Hello. Eric Street is a top fan in the Facebook live chat. He says, my friend's business, NH iPhone Repair, opens up on Industrial Drive on Monday. If your phones break, go there. There are 4 other locations. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's always good to support local businesses. Who knows? Maybe they'll be a future sponsor. Stefan Philbrook, who is a top fan, is in the Facebook live chat. Stefan says, Thirsty Thursday. Well, Stefan, if you're thirsty, speaking of sponsors, I recommend the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Bobby Champagne says, give 'em hell, Stacie Laughton. Stefan made a comment about the cardboard Peter Whitehead that I'm not going to read. That's more of a comment for the other show that I do, Matt Connarton Unsheathed, which is, of course, only available on the dark web, not here at WMNH. And I'm legally prohibited from telling you how to find it. Let's see. Texas Mike says, they're doing the raffles tomorrow. There are raffles as part of the Miracle on Elm Street. They'll be doing that tomorrow morning on the morning show. And I think they might even go a little long with it. I think I heard Peter say that when I heard the replay, that tomorrow's morning show might go longer than 9 a.m. because, they'll have a lot going on. So that's fantastic. Bobby says there's a lot of Christmas shopping that needs to be done. We are running out of time. Yeah, I guess. I'm just so not. I'm a Scrooge. What can I tell you? Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, this is Ron again. How you doing, brother?
Good, Ron. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for asking. Matt, I was listening to Thursday night's late night show, and I guess it was recorded from the past and from your other radio station that you work at and do, and you guys were talking about the old banquet foods and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about Pauly C's show, Retro Spectrum Radio. And yes, Paul, just for people who don't know, so Paul, during that show, which airs live Friday nights from 8 to 10, he played a clip from an old show that we did from 2015 before we were all here at WMNH. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I thought that was your show, but it's his show and you were a guest.
Right. Well, it airs that clip that he played aired on the version of the show that aired on my internet streaming service, which I don't talk about it much here because people get uptight about it if I promote that on
one
the
way or
station.
the other, it was actually a cool show. It was, I have to say, it was good to hear the old time stuff and and the banter and the comments that you guys had all along. So it was worth. At night when I go to bed, if I can't sleep, I turn on my favorite stations, and it's just cool to listen to no nonsense, sometimes stuff that's kind of funny and old, so I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, Paul has been getting a lot of positive feedback from listeners about the show, which he works really hard on. He does all those pre-produced segments, and he puts a lot of work into it. So if he's listening right now, and he probably is, I'm sure he's very happy to hear that, Ron. And I'll make sure that he heard your comment if it turns out he's not listening right now. But no, that's great. He loves getting that kind of feedback.
Very good, Matt. Very good. Sometimes it's funny. I'm not sure what it is. Your volume's going in and out, but I don't know if it's my phone or what. But for the most part, I heard what you said.
It might be your phone. I would suggest taking it to what's the name of this business that Eric Street was promoting? I can't find it now. Anyway, You should, Ron, I would suggest taking your phone to New Hampshire iPhone Repair.
I'll give it a thought. I'll give it a shot, or a thought anyways.
There you go. Probably just a bad connection. I'm sure your phone's fine.
Before I hang up, one last thing.
Yes.
If I caught you off guard or you didn't find the humor in my comment yesterday, I apologize for
it's okay.
For what I said. I just saw that I really got a low note or a decoy on the rating scale. So I know that didn't go over well, but
no.
You got my apology.
No, don't run. No need to apologize. I don't. It's not the most flattering cartoon character to be compared to, but that's okay. I understand. I know what it is. It's the long hair and the hat, and I get it.
And the headphones, and running the show. So that's what it all boiled down to.
I get it. It's cool. It's cool. I mean,
very good. I got that off my chest. I could sleep tonight.
We can all sleep better now, Ron.
All right, brother. Have a good night and happy holidays and everything else.
All right, my friend. You too. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was our friend Ron. Yeah, if you didn't know what he was referring to, so yesterday he called the show and he said that I kind of, he's watching online and, or maybe he watches on Channel 97, I don't know, but he was saying I reminded him of Otto from The Simpsons, Otto the bus driver, and I was like, oh, Otto, really? But I know it's the hat and the long hair and the headphones, and I get it. I I think he thinks I was upset by that, but no, not at all. Tom Blanchard in the Facebook live chat says, we are turning in the toys we collected this Saturday. 145 bicycles and 1,700 toys, all for the kids of New Hampshire. Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Congratulations, Tom. That's amazing. Yeah, I know Tom does a lot of that. Just great. Like I said, these things, I need to see these things happening because it makes me feel better because I've been a little negative lately. I don't know if you've all noticed. I've been a little negative. I've been a little angry. So it's good to see positive things like that happening. It really is. But I am kind of a Scrooge. Bobby Champagne says Matt Couchane ends his quarantine on Saturday. Hope all is cool from then on. Oh, I didn't realize he was in quarantine. Let's see. Jenny in the Facebook live chat says, bite me? I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what that was about. I missed something. Oh, my goodness. Bobby said, I heard losing the sense of smell and taste is a much bigger deal than one would think. By the way, so I have a friend, his name's Troy, and he, years ago, this was probably more than a decade ago now, Troy and I played in a band together for a long time called The Jinxed. Maybe we still do. We never officially broke up, but Troy lost his sense of taste, and it was very mysterious. Not recently, nothing COVID related. This happened like at least a decade ago. I haven't really talked to him in a while. I don't know if he ever got it back. But when it happened, he didn't lose his sense of smell, but he lost his sense of taste, or at least it was greatly diminished. And he was frustrated because he couldn't, it made it hard for him to enjoy his beer. But the doctors could not figure out why, and I don't know if they ever did. It was something that just happened to him for no apparent reason. He didn't have any other health problems that were happening. Just one day, all of a sudden, he could no longer taste anything, and I don't think they ever figured out why. It was very mysterious. Let's see. Oh, Robert Dion is in the Facebook live chat. Of course, Rob is the host of Through the Stage Door here at WMNH and the entertainment reporter on the morning show. He was on this morning via Skype. I think Rob is quarantining because he had a test recently, he was saying. But I think he's close to the end of it. But, of course, so you can hear that on the morning show every Thursday morning. Rob does a great job. Let's see. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody here. Geez, it's already almost the top of the hour, and we still have a bunch of stuff to get to. Bobby Champagne says, did you see the promo of the three presidents, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, lining up to prove the vaccines are safe? Yes, absolutely. Did see that. It's a great thing. Like I said, though, I don't know who they're going to convince with that, because people who are reflexively anti-vaxxers aren't going to believe those guys anyway. I don't know, but maybe. We'll see. I just want to make sure we don't miss anyone, and then we'll take a break because it's already almost. Oh, DJ Midas is in the Facebook live chat. Midas, of course, host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night from 12 midnight all the way to 4 a.m. with a replay on Sunday night. Midas says, hey, guys, sneaking in a listen at work. Very good. Very good. Eric Street says, other New Hampshire iPhone locations are Bedford, Portsmouth, Salem, and Epping. Very nice. Bobby says, Manchester's generosity is unmatched, referring to all the toys and things donated for the Miracle on Elm Street. Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very impressive. This has to be more than was here last year. It's got to be. Miriam says, yeah, I've been more negative too, but not a Scrooge, just weary of hearing about COVID. Let's see, and we have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's the Don't Get Mad, Get Video guy.
Dave Ridley, how are you?
I am ever the same, yet ever changing, just like the ocean.
I see. Your name came up on the No More Excuses podcast, this week's edition of that. You can find that on the YouTube we were talking about you.
Oh, good. I thought I would just Google No More Excuses YouTube.
No, just go on YouTube and look up No More Excuses, or look on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. You'll find it there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. What's on your mind, my friend?
News from the State House.
Okay.
So apparently, Carol McGuire, a Republican state rep, has sponsored legislation to prohibit the state from using facial recognition software.
Oh, yes. I saw something about this, but I don't know a lot about it. So her bill is to ban what? To ban law enforcement from using it?
I think it's state agencies, but when I looked at what I looked at was just like it's the preliminary list of bill summaries, and I don't know if the actual bill text has been completed yet.
Oh, okay. Are they currently using? Where are you, Dave? I hear wind or something. What is that sound?
Sorry, let me push back inside here.
Oh,
sorry. Okay, back inside.
No problem. What is so is this currently being used in New Hampshire?
Not to my knowledge, but it's funny how they're not supposed to use like traffic cameras and everything. And sometimes you do see cameras on traffic lights.
But they're not supposed to use them? Is that prohibited in New Hampshire?
I thought they weren't, but you know how it is. They keep changing the rules. And
oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
Keep up with. But, I'm sure that what's driving this is partly just the way it's been abused in China, where they're using it to sort of run a concentration camp. So the idea is that it's an easily abused type of software for the government to be using. So.
Yeah, I know that in some places, I assume this is the case in China, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like in London, in that city, they're on every street corner, right? Like they really went for it when they started installing these cameras so they can watch you like anywhere that you are in the city.
Yeah, I read somewhere that like George Orwell's apartment has like it can be seen from 10 different angles on cameras.
Wow. That's impressive. Hey, it's like everybody's on a reality show, whether they want to be or not.
There was also an incident where I guess a rock and roll band, did a performance. They just used the cameras and just did performances in front of the cameras.
Oh, really?
And then filed a Freedom of Information request to make the government hand them the video and got a free music video out of it.
Seriously? That happened?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. And there's also a whole subculture in England of people who go from camera to camera destroying the cameras.
Oh, is there? I'm sure there's a hefty penalty for that if you get caught destroying those cameras.
Probably, but it makes great video on YouTube.
Oh, that's interesting. So there's actual YouTube videos of people doing this?
Well, what I've seen is just stills. I'm assuming there's also some videos of it. I haven't seen a video yet.
Yeah. Oh, I'd be. I'm curious to see that. Oh.
And one other thing, completely unrelated, unless you had a question.
No. Go ahead.
So I'd been meaning to bring this up while Jen was on, but she's never on when I called the last few days. So I did want to mention. I wanted to apologize for what I said. She said something about me that was not true, and I accused her of lying. And that's just I don't know what was in her head. You can't know what's in someone's head, so I should not have used the word lying. So I'll mention that. I'll email her probably, but I wanted to mention that publicly too.
Oh, that's very nice, Dave. That's very nice. What do you remember? What she said that wasn't true?
It was something along the lines of me refusing to wear a mask.
Oh, right. And then you got upset. Yeah, because you're not an anti-masker by any means.
Not per se. I'm an agnostic until I'm given a reason to believe one way or the other.
Right, but I commend you for erring on the side of caution and wearing a mask. I think that's great. And above
all, do no harm.
Exactly, and I think that's where there might have been a little bit of a disconnect. But I think right, and of course, obviously, she wouldn't. Intentionally lie about you or anything. So I think that's great. Good for you, Dave. She's listening right now, as far as I know. So I'm sure she appreciates hearing that.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. You're a good man, Dave Ridley.
Yeah, they said that to Charlie Brown too.
Well, Charlie Brown's that's true. Yeah, but you're like a real. I mean, you are a real person, right? You're not a cartoon character. Well, that'd be weird. No, I've met you, so you are real. I know for a fact that you're real. Unless that was
I think therefore I am.
But you could be a cyborg, or you could be a hologram. Who knows?
Well,
only you know the truth.
I can't wait to hire my army of talk radio robocallers.
There you go. AI. Yes. All right. Well, we are a little bit past the top of the hour, so I'll let you go, Dave. But please give the Ridley Report a plug.
Ridley Report. Doing stories that are long and stories that are short. Asking nasty questions. Letting bureaucrats retort. Ridley Report. Ridley Report.
I tried to harmonize a little with you at the end. Did you like that?
That was more like synchronizing.
Yeah, you're right. I couldn't find the octave. I'm sorry. All right, Dave Ridley. Thank you for the call, my friend. Stay safe.
You're welcome for the call, my friend.
All right, you got it. Bye-bye. All right, Dave Ridley from the Ridley Report. Let's take a break. I got to get some water. I forgot. If you're just joining us, I started the show off with terrible, terrible, distressing news today. I forgot my water bottle. And I'm a little dry. So let's take a break. We will come back. We will do some more stuff. We got plenty to discuss that we haven't gotten to yet. The president gave a little presentation, apparently, online. It's 46 minutes long, and I didn't really watch any of it. But anyway, I haven't played this track in a while. Let's do this. This is State of the Union, James McMurtry. And then we'll be back. More Matt Connarton Unleashed coming up. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. We are way well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. And on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. Welcome, everyone. And we have a call. Let's grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's on the line?
It's Eazy-G calling back.
Eazy-G calling back. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I want to tell you what I think about the old-time wrestlers coming back.
Yes.
What I always believe is they take a spot from the young guys they hold them back. That's why I can't stand it.
Right. What would be
I don't know if you feel that way.
What would be the mandatory retirement age for professional wrestlers?
It's got to be 60. So he's over the limit.
Yeah, Sting is Sting returning last night. He is 61.
If they learn a lesson, if AEW learns a lesson, if anybody's listening from AEW, maybe they'll figure out what'll happen at WCW when they use all the old farts from WWE.
Ooh.
How'd that work out?
You know why they brought back Sting, from what I was reading, is because Sting was such an important part of WCW Monday Nitro when that was on TNT. So they wanted to
right, but he's not. What's he going to do? Be a manager or something? I didn't even watch AEW anymore. I don't really care for it.
Apparently, he's not going to wrestle. He's just going to be.
The only thing left is to run his mouth, then I guess, right?
I guess so, and to threaten people with a baseball bat, which is what he does. And he came back, and he looks
funny.
like
I was watching
Crow.
an old video from back in the day with the NWO for life, and they got out of this expensive airline, and next thing you know, they were coming out, and this guy, they dragged the guy out of the car. They were beating him. It looked really fake, though.
Now, would you
they
feel?
They kicked the car. They were bad guys, you know.
Yes. Now,
but you look at it back and now, it's like, wow, that was really dumb.
Would you feel better about the whole thing, Eazy-G, if they brought back his theme song, "A Man Called Sting"?
Yeah. Well, if we're gonna bring back Sting, they might as well bring back that other. I mean, I love the guy, but he must bring that other old part, 70 years old, the Hulk Hogan. He's not doing anything.
That's true. Ooh, listen to that.
Well, if they do that, the AEW is going right down the toilet.
Right.
What is Hogan doing these days? You know, he's working for WWE a while back, but I haven't heard from him forever. So.
Well, he's got all
kinds of... Maybe he took my advice. Maybe he's listening. He retired to his rocking chair.
He's got plenty of money. He doesn't need to do anything.
Right, but I listened to an old interview with Howard Stern, and that guy has had massive problems with his back.
Oh, Hulk Hogan? Yeah, he's had like 10 back surgeries. No exaggeration.
He's just like he's like that guy for when he played for the Patriots there.
Sorry.
With Tom Brady right now. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, Gronk. He's had like 10 back operations himself, even in college.
Wow.
He hurt his back.
Wow. What's your favorite version of Sting, Eazy-G? Do you like the Surfer Sting? Do you like the Crow Sting? Who do you like for Sting?
I like the bad guy Sting when he used to hit everybody with that bat.
Ooh, and he was a bad guy.
Yeah, he was part of NWO for a while too, before he turned on him.
He was a part of NWO Wolfpack. Well, remember they had the real Sting and the imposter Sting?
Oh my God, that was so dumb.
Fake Sting, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I wonder how much money, how many zeros it cost for him to be there last night. You think it was a ton of money?
A lot of money. Apparently they've signed him to a multi-year deal.
You think it was 7 figures?
No, I don't think it was that much.
Do you think he really needs the money?
No, I doubt it.
I wonder why he's doing it.
One last shot at glory. One last.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Last opportunity.
I know Vince McMahon didn't sign him, so I don't think he cares.
One last chance to be a man called Sting. I wonder if that's him playing guitar.
I think I'll have to watch AEW next Wednesday to see if I see that old timer.
Yes, I'm sure you will see him.
Oh yeah, I'll leave it with this. I was just on the Tony D show for the first time.
The Tony D show. How did that go?
It went very well. He wanted to know how I met Amanda McCarthy, so I told that story one more time. It never gets old.
Right. I don't even remember.
I said she's never been on your show. Oh, I see. He said he's never been. Yeah, Manny McCarthy's never been on his show, but I said, who knows? He sounded like he wanted her to come on his show, so maybe I'll have to reach out to her, and I'll send her. Hey, I got a link on my phone. I'll have to send her the link.
You should get Amanda to cover A Man Called Sting.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be great though for Amanda McCarthy to be on the Tony D show?
Yes, that would be great. Make it happen, Eazy-G.
She could just call in though. She doesn't necessarily go down there. She can just call in like I did.
That's right.
How long's that guy been on the radio?
I don't know. Man,
oh yeah, you leave with this thought.
Yes.
You ever listen to a station? The guy says to call up, and the guy says, "I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller." I hate that.
Do you really? That bothers you?
Oh yeah. Do you hear that sometimes?
I've heard Sting do that when he calls into radio stations.
Yeah, mainly a sports station that people do that. I just hate that.
No, I hate that too.
I told him Tony D, and he said, "I hate that too." Well, anyways, I'm going to clear the air. Enough of my foolishness. Talk to you later.
All right, Eazy-G. Yes. He's a man called Sting. Anyway. Eazy-G, he doesn't like it when the old guys come out of retirement. Well, that does open up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. Rob Dion in the Facebook live chat made this comment. He said 2,800 plus COVID deaths yesterday, and the dictator is still obsessed about the election results. Hashtag let it burn. Yeah, so I didn't watch it, but he did it was 46 minutes long. Apparently, it went out on the Facebook, and Trump just monologuing. I don't know if this was written out for him or if he was just talking off the top of his head, which I'm struggling to do at the moment, apparently. But, Trump does like to do that. He likes to just speak extemporaneously without anything.
I stand up here giving speeches for an hour and a half, many times without notes.
So, he's just talking about all this fraud, all this election fraud, and how the election was stolen from him. And as Rob points out, this is all going on while COVID is worse than it's ever been. And it's going to get much worse in the next couple of weeks because even though we're so close to finally having those vaccines, America has decided that we're going to have as much sickness and death as we possibly can fit in until the vaccines come, which is unfortunate. I'm not in favor of that, but clearly, based on all the Thanksgiving travel, that's what America's decided we're going to do. So Trump, of course, doesn't address any of that. The only time Trump talks about the vaccines is when he said, I heard a clip of him the other day saying something about, don't let Joe, I couldn't believe it. I mean, this was so pathetic. Don't let Joe Biden take credit for the vaccines. That's me. I mean, he literally was saying that. He sounds like a little kid. Who don't let Joe take the credit for that. It's really sad. But, apparently he talked for 46 minutes. The news networks didn't carry it. I don't know if maybe Fox News carried some of it. I don't think even they did because, why bother? Why bother? Let's see. But Rob says, but we should name the vaccine after him. Yeah, that was Geraldo's idea. Geraldo Rivera on Fox News said, maybe we should name one of the vaccines after Trump, the Trump vaccine. Yeah. I don't think so. Mike Pelopita really enjoyed the anti-vax Janet parody that I played there. Michael Alber is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, sir. Rob Dion says, small businesses were told with all the extra unemployment that our unemployment insurance would not go up. I was denied unemployment from the Majestics UEI, And our rate went from 0.01% to 10%, a 1,000% increase. And they wonder why small businesses are dying. Well, and I can tell you too, Rob added too, I was screaming when I got that notice. Thank God the building was closed. Yeah. And, we had the CARES Act, and maybe there may or may not be something else coming. I know that Pelosi and McConnell are negotiating on something now, apparently. But, and I don't know if Mnuchin is a part of that or not, but so much of that money in the CARES Act apparently went to larger businesses, and smaller businesses really missed out. They had the payroll protection. What is it? Payroll. What does PPP stand for? Not PPE. That's personal protection equipment. PPP, personal paycheck protection something. Anyway, doesn't matter. That didn't go where it should have. I mean, you had these very large, very successful businesses getting a lot of that money, and the businesses that needed it the most missed out. And there's a lot of analysis now that shows that so much of what came out of the CARES Act was poorly administered. And there's still more money that's supposed to go out. But now, for some reason, Steve Mnuchin is trying to get all of that money to just go back to the Treasury. It's very baffling and frustrating. And no matter what happens now, it doesn't look like, even with the new stimulus that's being negotiated on, it doesn't look like there's a new stimulus check coming for anybody. I mean, granted, everyone was very happy the first time to get that $1,200 that they could then take and hand over to their landlord, for all the good that did. I mean, it's better than nothing, but still, I mean, there is something to be said for the libertarian argument that you can't depend on government, because it's true. You really can't depend on government, right? I mean, our government has failed us spectacularly. I mean, it's just incredible when you think about the suffering that's happening. When you turn on the news and you see in Texas, where they're having a particularly, I mean, that's one of the hot spots. I mean, the entire country now is a COVID-19 hotspot, but in Texas, you see these enormous lines for miles of cars lining up, waiting to get food from the food banks. We're fortunate here in New Hampshire. And please don't take this wrong, there are people here hurting terribly. There's people hurting everywhere. But we are somewhat insulated in New Hampshire because I think it's an advantage to be in a small state, and I think that economically, I'm talking about, I think we're somewhat insulated because in both good times and bad, this state tends to do better than most of the rest of the country. We tend to have one of the lowest unemployment rates, for example, and I know that the unemployment rate in and of itself is not the most accurate barometer of how people are doing. It might be better to use the labor participation rate, for example, but I'm just saying we're somewhat insulated here in that we just tend to do a little bit better than the rest of the country economically. But you look at a state like Texas, where, a very large state, obviously, and just miles and miles of cars. I mean, it is so heartbreaking. And you look at the evictions that are happening nationally, and that's only going to get worse. And the current moratorium, the federal moratorium on evictions, I believe, expires at the end of the year, December 31st. It's, this is a second Great Depression that we're experiencing now. And our government has just completely failed us. Hopefully there's some help coming. Don't hold your breath. It's really incredible. Both Republicans and Democrats have just, count your blessings if you're doing okay, because we've never seen anything like this in our lifetimes. I hear people trying to compare this to the Great Recession. No, this is This is much, much worse than the Great Recession. This is a Great Depression. And hopefully things get significantly better in 2021. You know, I mean, a lot of the expectations and projections about what's going to happen economically are positive. You know, there's a lot of people. I mean, Trump will tell you, well, look at how great the stock market's doing, but the stock market is not the economy. I mean, one of the most tone-deaf things I've ever seen any politician do in my life was when, you know, in the midst of all this death and sickness and economic destruction, Trump coming out and giving that very brief statement to the press about, hey, you know, the stock market hit 30,000 today, first time ever, or first time ever in however long, or whatever, first time ever during his administration, whatever it was. You know, most Americans, unless they have stocks, they're not paying attention to that. And this man comes out and he's crowing about that. And the absurdity of it is on multiple levels. For one thing, just the incredible lack of empathy. Dude, the people waiting in those food lines in Texas don't care about how the stock market is doing. I hate to tell you. People lying in ICU beds in hospitals, they don't care about your precious stock market. People being evicted right now as we speak, they don't care about any of that. But he comes out and just, I mean, you know, a politician being tone deaf is not anything new, but my God. I mean, he takes it to a new level, right? Politicians tend not to be the most self-aware people anyway, you know, in many ways. I mean, the ones that are somewhat self-aware tend to be very successful, but a lot of them aren't, and they get elected anyway. It's quite remarkable. But, of course, the other absurdity of that, when he did that, was the only reason the stock market shot up like it did was because he still won't concede, but he finally allowed Emily Murphy from the GSA to sign off on the letter of ascertainment so the transition could move forward finally. That's why the stock market got goosed like that. That's the only reason. It's the only reason. And he comes out and he takes credit for it. It's crazy stuff. Jenny says in the Facebook live chat today, I think they said we lose about 50-ish people to the flu each year. We have 3 weeks left of this year. 50-ish? Maybe that's supposed to be 50,000. We have 3 weeks left of this year, and we have already lost. Oh, you mean in New Hampshire? Gotcha. I see now. 50-ish people to the flu each year in New Hampshire, I think is what she means. We have 3 weeks left of this year, and we have already lost over 540 people in New Hampshire to COVID. I want to cry again. Yeah, that's what's so infuriating about these people who still say, oh, you know, what about, the flu kills more people every year. It's like, no, the flu kills a fraction of the number of people that COVID has already killed in 2020. It's you've got it inverted, but there's still people who will tell you that, oh, what about the flu? Yeah, what about the flu? This ain't the flu. It's infuriating. Bobby Champagne says, I fear the worst is not behind us. Oh, no. The worst is going to be, you know, between now and the end of the year. The worst is yet to come. I mean, it's such a cliche. I almost hate to say it, but it literally is true. It's going to get worse before it gets better. You know, because, you know, look at what happened on Thanksgiving. You know, a giant super spreader event nationally, all these people getting on airplanes, all these people traveling, all these people who, you know, couldn't hold off and maybe, you know, have Thanksgiving in July this year when it's summertime and people have been vaccinated. Nope. Everybody says, oh, screw it. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. And, no, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. There's going to be, you know, tens of thousands of people dying who didn't have to. But it's almost impossible to get people to take COVID seriously, even now. No matter how many, I mean, again, I'm sorry to harp on it, but, there's cities where they're out of ICU beds. They're literally out of ICU beds. They're having to set up, triage hospitals in hospital parking garages. They've got prisoners in Texas moving dead bodies and stuffing them in refrigeration trucks because they're out of morgue space. But that's still not enough to get Americans to take this seriously. People just don't care. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. It's Ron again.
Hey, Ron.
I'm just going to ask you a question in regards to what you're speaking of.
Yes.
When the super spreader in Thanksgiving, is there any data that shows where the airports, if the airport's on the plane, you have to wear a mask, and in the airport and this and that, was there any spread from the airports, or was it just from people's personal contact within their homes?
Well, from what I've read, the biggest concern is the contact. People traveling to see relatives, and then, if you've got, a Thanksgiving gathering of, say, 10 or 12 people together in a home, all it takes is for one of the people in that home to be a carrier. They might be asymptomatic, but they might have COVID, and then everybody, at the end of that gathering, when everyone leaves that home, well, guess what? Everyone's infected, and then everyone's going to go back to wherever they live and bring it with them, and it just spreads. It's like throwing a pebble in the water. It just spreads.
Well, I guess then that much I knew, or just from what I've heard and what I've read, but I was just wondering if they attributed it to the actual airports themselves, which I assumed were, on their guard, including the planes. So it was when people spread out and get on the streets and get home. That was the super spreader right there.
Yeah. I'm sure the airports aren't. I'm sure people crowding into the airports isn't helpful. Because even with masks, you've got people inside and crowding, and the airplanes themselves are apparently pretty safe because apparently an airplane itself is a relatively safe place to be because of the way the air circulation is designed. I don't know a lot about it, but experts have been saying that airplanes themselves are not as unsafe as people assumed. But the airports are a problem.
There's another question.
Yeah.
This is another question. The virus obviously can be spread airborne, and it can be spread through contact and touch. What is the life expectancy on the virus on, let's just say a railing, if someone had it, touched it, and spread it? How long can it stay dormant outside of the host?
Well, interestingly enough, there isn't a lot of talk about surface spread anymore. I think they've kind of determined that, I'm sure it's still a problem, and that's why it's so important to wash your hands. But I think at this point they've determined that the real threat is airborne. It's an aerosol. So when you speak, when you sneeze, when you just breathe around another person and you're breathing the same air in a confined space, that's how the virus is primarily spread. Because it seems like I'm hearing a lot less talk now about, obviously you still want to be careful, and that's why we clean everything here in the studio after the show. We sanitize everything, wipe everything up. But I think it's that seems to be less of a concern than it used to be.
All right, thanks for your time.
Yeah, absolutely, Ron. Thank you for the call.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right. Great call from Ron. Yeah, I feel like surface spread is not doesn't seem to be as much of a concern as it was. I am going to take a quick break, actually, and I'll explain why. I'll explain why when I come back. I have a little bit of a surprise. I think. Quick break. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed. Okay, change of plans for the first time ever here on WMNH. It is a 3-hour Matt Connarton Unleashed. I received notification that if I wanted to, because tonight's Weekly Die-On was scheduled to be not only a repeat, but of an old episode, which would be a little bit outdated. I don't know what the episode was, but I received a text message saying that, if I want, I can do the hour, go till 7. And I said yes. And I also I let Dr. Kevin know I wasn't going to be able to make it for the Dr. Kevin show, but that's okay. I'm sure he'll understand. This is great. You know what's ironic though? It just occurred to me. So Tony D, our friend Tony D from Philadelphia, from the Tony D Show, he's always saying in the Facebook live chat that he wishes this was a 3-hour show. He even once emailed the radio station and said, hey, you should give Matt a third hour. And but the irony is he isn't here to enjoy this because he does his own show from 5 to 7. So it finally happened, Tony. I finally have a third hour, even though it's just for this one day. And you're off live doing your own show right now, and you don't even get to bask in the glory of the moment. But here we go. So it is a special 3-hour edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Ironic that, I was talking earlier about how painful it must be for those of you who you get to the end of the 2 hours and you go, oh my God, I need more Matt Connarton. Well, here I am. So this is great. Although it is also ironic that this happens on a day that I forgot my water bottle, so I'm sitting here all thirsty. But that's okay. I'm up for the challenge. I mean, many political talk shows are 3 hours long. So if Sean Hannity can do it, I can do it. Sean Hannity might do 4 hours. I don't know. I don't like to give him credit for anything. But yes. Jenny in the Facebook live chat says, I got more Connarton. Connarton unite. Yes, here we are. Let's see. I just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody in the Facebook live chat here. So I guess what we'll do is I will take a short break at the top of the hour so that we can show some love to our sponsors. And then we'll come back. That'll be a short break though, because of course we just took a break. So I wanted to make sure that everything was all set for the third hour today. But if you'd like to get in with a call, 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476, tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. So you have no shortage of ways to get in touch. We should talk about what's going on in Georgia briefly, and maybe we'll get into this more in the next hour. But Mediaite has this article up. A new poll shows Warnock and Ossoff leading the Georgia runoffs, which would give Democrats control of the Senate. You know, they're going to have another vote. They're going to have to do a runoff vote in Georgia, and it's very, very strange to see what's happening there, because you have, the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, who's having to defend himself against these attacks that are coming from the president and from others who are saying, well, Trump actually won Georgia and they shouldn't have certified it for Biden, and it's all fake and it's a fraudulent election and the whole thing is suspect and there were fraudulent ballots and all this. So you've got all these people, Trump and others, who are poor-mouthing Georgia, and, Georgia is saying, Governor Brian Kemp and others are saying, look, election officials there are saying, no, our election was very secure. It was very safe. It was legal. And the results are what the results are, and they're perfectly valid. But then, so you've got people going there, people advocating for Trump going there and saying, we should boycott. I mean, this is so bizarre on so many levels. You have these people going to Georgia and saying, Republicans, we must boycott this election, this runoff election, because it's not fair and it's not right, and they're just going to steal the election from us. We should boycott this election. And just think about that for a moment. These people are telling Republicans, boycott the election. Well, what will that do if people actually say, okay, if Republicans actually say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to participate in a fraudulent election. I know the fix is in. I'll show them. I'm just not going to go vote. I'm going to boycott the election. I'm not going to participate. I mean, a child could predict the outcome of that and see the flaw in that quote-unquote logic. I mean, what are these people doing? I mean, that's great for the Democrats, right? I mean, that virtually assures, if people are actually, if Republicans are actually convinced to boycott the election, that virtually assures that these Democrats are going to win in Georgia, and that will throw the Senate to the Democrats. The Democrats are going to end up with control of the Senate. I mean, this is crazy stuff. I mean, it's all crazy even without that part, right? I mean, we're already in crazy town, even if you remove that from the equation. But, because we've never seen anything like this in our lifetimes, with Trump not accepting, not conceding, saying the whole thing was fake and stolen from him, and, all these lawsuits, almost all of which end up getting thrown out of court, dismissed, because nobody seems to have any actual proof or even real evidence. So, to the point that Attorney General Bill Barr, who we all thought was a Trump loyalist, Bill Barr, he told the Associated Press, he said, look, I just don't see it. We haven't uncovered any evidence of voter fraud. At least, well, he was very careful with how he worded it. He said any evidence of voter fraud on a large scale, enough that would, affect the result of the election. He never quite said, we haven't found any. I've acknowledged on the show, I'm sure that it happens, but it's rare. It's very rare. So this is crazy stuff to begin with, right? We've never seen a president lose it. Well, actually, we don't see it that often that a president loses, that a sitting president loses an election, if you think about it. Voters are big fans of incumbency. We tend to reelect first-term presidents. Statistically, we do, if you think about it. Just like in New Hampshire, for example, we tend to reelect governors. There's a very high incumbency rate. We tend to reelect presidents. So for a first-term president to lose and not get a second term, the previous president to do that before Trump was George H.W. Bush. He won the presidency in 1988. It was kind of a third term of the Reagan administration in a way, because he was Reagan's vice president, and then he lost in 92 to Bill Clinton. But then Bill Clinton served 2 terms. Then George W. Bush served 2 terms. Then Barack Obama served 2 terms. And Trump only gets 1. It is unusual. But so maybe there just haven't been, that many opportunities for something like this to happen statistically, I suppose. But we've never seen anything like this. I can't think of, on any level, not just on the presidential level, I don't know of a race for governor in any state where anything like this has happened. Where, I'm sure there's been of course there's been contested elections, but nothing on this scale where somebody just insists that they won with no evidence to back it up, with nothing to back it up, where everyone knows, including probably the person making the claim, that it's just not true. So this is all crazy and wild stuff that we've never seen anything like it. But on top of all that crazy, you've got these Republicans telling their voters in Georgia, this election, this runoff election coming up is fake. Stay home. Don't participate. That's extra crazy. I mean, that's a whole lot of stupid mixed in with the crazy. I suppose we already had that as well, but I mean, this is. Let's look at this, and then we'll take a break. And like I said, I want to show some love to our sponsors before we plunge full on into our unprecedented bonus third hour here. So Mediaite says an early look at the Georgia runoffs shows Democrats have a strong chance to take both races and with them control of the U.S. Senate. According to polling commissioned by Atlanta-based NBC affiliate Channel 11, Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff hold narrow leads in their respective contests against Senator Kelly Loeffler and Senator David Perdue. Ossoff leads by just 2%, 50 to 48, which is inside the survey's 5.2-point margin of error. That's a big margin of error, 5.2 points. Margin of error, it seems like, is usually 2 or 3 points. Warnock, however, holds a 52 to 45 advantage over Loeffler. Was it Loeffler or Loeffler? I think it's Loeffler, which is outside the margin of error. Yeah, that's a very strong lead. The balance of power in the Senate rests on the outcome of these two elections, which will take place on January 5. If either Loeffler or Perdue win their races, Republicans will have a majority. But if Warnock and Ossoff both win, the Senate will be split 50-50, with the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris as the tie-breaking vote. Democrats will have control. Turnout figures to be the deciding factor. Now, this is important because, remember, turnout is being directly affected, in theory, by what these people say. Unless Republicans in Georgia ignore what these people are saying at their rallies and decide not to boycott the election. Turnout figures to be the deciding factor, with numbers likely to be down for both sides, with the presidential candidates not on the ballot this time around as they were November 3rd. Observers are questioning whether Republican turnout might be further depressed, given President Donald Trump's repeated false claims of the vote in Georgia being rigged. Pro-Trump lawyer Lynn Wood attacked the state's Republican governor Brian Kemp on Wednesday and explicitly called for Republican voters to stay home for the Senate runoffs. Wood said at a rally, quote, "Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election?" The Trump team, however, has quickly distanced themselves from Wood, and the president himself is headed to Georgia on Saturday for a rally in support of Loeffler and Perdue. Oh, good, the president's going there for a rally on Saturday. Well, congratulations in advance to the state of Georgia. You get to have another super spreader event. Good for you, because you know nobody there is going to be wearing masks or social distancing. Remember, Laura Ingraham tried that, and Trump made fun of her in front of everybody. Oh, that's very politically correct of you, Laura, wearing a mask. But why would you say that? Why would you say, hey, don't participate in this election. Stay home. Just stay home. It's crazy. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. If you are just joining us and you're confused, because the Weekly Die-On this week was supposed to be a replay, and apparently it's an old episode, I was informed that I can go a bonus hour if I would like to, so that's what we're doing. We are live. This is Matt Connarton Unleashed. Welcome if you're tuning into the show for the first time. I'm usually on live weekdays 4 to 6, but I've got the extra hour this Thursday night. I'll be here till 7 p.m., but we will take a quick break here from the studios of WMNH 95.3. More Unleashed coming up. Don't go away. Welcome, everybody, to a special third bonus hour of today's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. And if you're confused, if you're just tuning in and you don't understand what's going on, this week's weekly die-on was to be a replay. So I was told that I could just stay on and do a bonus hour of my show, which is usually 4 to 6 weekday afternoons. So I said, okay, because there's always plenty to talk about. So here we are. If you'd like to call the show, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Oh, some interesting news there. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do, of course, give us a call, 603-250-6007. By the way, our friend Tom Blanchard in the Facebook live chat says, "Give it up, Trump." That's right. Tom, of course, has been supportive of Trump during Trump's administration, but has expressed disappointment with the way Trump has handled losing, as he refuses to accept that he has, in fact, lost. The thing that got my attention just now is apparently, and I'm not, I guess I'm not surprised by this, but thehill.com is reporting that Biden has asked Fauci to serve as chief medical advisor. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who somehow has managed to not be fired by President Trump, even though Dr. Fauci, of course, the nation's top epidemiologist, has failed to tell Trump what he wants to hear, unlike that quack who just left Dr. Scott. I shouldn't even say doctor, that guy, Scott Atlas, who had no background in epidemiology, but apparently felt that, we should just not bother to do anything about COVID. That seemed to be Scott Atlas's position, which bothered people so much that, according to reporting, Dr. Deborah Birx didn't even want to be in the meetings, the coronavirus task force meetings with Scott Atlas, didn't want anything to do with him. But he's gone. But, according to this, President-elect Joe Biden today asked Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, to serve as his chief medical advisor. Biden told CNN's Jake Tapper in an interview that he asked Fauci to serve in the position in addition to staying on in his long-term role as the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Quote, "I asked him to stay on the exact same role that he's had for the past several presidents, and I asked him to be a chief medical advisor for me as well and be part of the COVID team," unquote, Biden told the network in his first joint interview with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris since the election. Fauci is one of the most prominent members of President Trump's coronavirus task force, and polls show he is among the most trusted public officials when it comes to the coronavirus. But his media appearances, during which he urged Americans to stay home, wear masks, and take other precautions, often put him at odds with Trump. Although I will say, I have seen him continue to make appearances on MSNBC, on Meet the Press Daily with Chuck Todd and whatnot. So it's not as though they've completely muzzled him. He's still out there making appearances, and he's been on NPR and CNN and other places. But he really, the word was that Scott Atlas kind of became the president's favorite person on the task force. Speaking of the coronavirus task force, by the way, there was a report that leaked out talking about how this is an incredibly dangerous and trepidatious time trepidatious time in America right now because of COVID-19, and how from a public, Dr. Redfield from the CDC had said something to this effect publicly. He said that, we've never been in a worse moment from a public health perspective than we are in right now as a country. And a report leaked out. It leaked out. It wasn't made public. It wasn't supposed to be made public, from the coronavirus task force, saying effectively the same thing, that we're in a really, really tough spot right now with COVID-19 and that it's worse than it's ever been. Now, it does beg the question, why did this leak out? Why wasn't it released? Or why weren't we supposed to know? Why wasn't the public supposed to know? Now, Vice President Mike Pence, I presume, is still, the chair, right? The person in charge of the coronavirus task force. So is he making sure that this information doesn't get out because it contradicts what the president has said? And the president doesn't talk about it much. But when he does bother to say something about it, he says things like, oh, we're rounding the corner. We've rounded the corner on COVID. It's like, well, a lot of people have rounded the corner right into the morgue, is the reality of it. The death rate has actually gone up significantly. And as I was saying earlier, in some cities, the ICU beds are full. They're setting up makeshift triage units in parking garages at hospitals and in parking lots. They're stuffing dead bodies into refrigeration trucks because they're out of morgue space. We've rounded the corner straight into hell. We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt. Jeff Nyhan. How are you, sir?
Good. Jeff Nyhan. How are you, my friend?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Hey, so I just wanted to touch base with you on this whole COVID thing. Tomorrow is my last day of COVID quarantine. I ended up getting it.
No.
Yeah. It's all good, man. We're feeling good. Everything's good. Super mild case.
Good.
Who knows where I got it? I think I pinpointed to somebody that I do business with. But anyway, big deal. But I got to tell you, man, I was hurting for a few days. I'm not of the demographic that would, thankfully pass away from it. But I was concerned about, spreading it to my mother or my other family members, my kids. Like,
right.
You get in a whole world of thoughts of what could happen when you have it, and it's no joke. So, I was wholeheartedly, man, I was one of those, like, I don't need a mask. I'm fine. I just ordered 30 masks from Amazon. Like, it's legit. And if people don't want to wear a mask and don't want to, take care of each other, we're going to see these increases that are going to be almost unstoppable,
Oh, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, as I've been saying, I mean, it's already coming because of Thanksgiving, because, America just kind of collectively said, oh, what pandemic? We're just going to go about our business as usual. And it's going to be bad these next few weeks. I mean, I hate to be doom and gloom about it, but it's the reality of it. It's coming. It's going to be a rough winter around here. But you're feeling better. You sound good.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for asking. Yeah, so I had some cold symptoms.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was, runny nose. I didn't think it was COVID, and then I ended up getting tested because it wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit of nausea, but more than nothing, it was just more of like a head cold type thing. So.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, tomorrow's my last day of quarantining, so I can re-enter the world this weekend. I'll give it a couple extra days, but
yeah,
it's but it's one of those things we got through it. Luckily like I said, luckily nothing bad happened, but that could have taken a turn in a second. So I did just see that Joe Biden is going to ask everybody on his day of inauguration moving forward for 100 days. He's calling it masking for 100 days, or I think was his tagline. So
no
just
kidding.
Trying to get that message. Yeah, it just came out on one of the news sites. So
okay.
But yeah, interestingly enough. So
yeah,
hopefully, just my PSA for everybody is to take care of yourselves and and stay healthy. Wash your hands, wear a mask, do your thing.
Absolutely. Nope, that's a good message, and I'm glad you're okay, Jeff. Jeez.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Yeah, no, I'm glad too, and there's I'm glad my family's okay and my kids and stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, I'm glad I won't take up all your time on your bonus hour. So enjoy your bonus hour tonight.
All right, Jeff. Thank you so much for the call. Take care.
All right, brother.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Jeff Nyhan. Well, I'm glad he's all right, but yeah, nothing to fool with. I'm actually looking up what he was talking about. Joe Biden and the masking for 100 days. Let's see here. I think we have another call already. We'll probably get a lot of calls. Probably some people are confused. Don't know why I'm on right now. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Matt, Ron, one more time. I will make it fast because I feel so guilty about calling all the time.
It's okay.
I don't know if you ever get a chance to watch 60 Minutes, but I watched it about 2 weeks ago or so, and they had people that were physical trainers, 100% healthy from head to toe, that caught corona, and with treatment or whatever it was, they got rid of it. But they said the side effects afterwards were debilitating. After your body tries so hard to get rid of the virus that it produces, I don't know, like white blood cells or something. And after the virus is gone, you've got all those extra white blood cells, and they start to do damage to muscles, joints, your organs and stuff. It was terrible. Like I said, there was one woman, she was like a triathlete, and now all she could do is just walk from upstairs to downstairs.
Oh, my God.
If you saw that or heard anything about it, that's what I was calling for.
Okay. All right, Ron, thank you for the info. Yeah, and that just backs up, what Jeff was saying. It's no joke.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Ron, thank you for the call. Right, call anytime, seriously.
Thanks.
All right, man, you got it. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, there's, and obviously, too, to Ron's point, and some of what Jeff was saying, too, if you're young and healthy, you're going to do better statistically, but there's no guarantee. See, people who don't take COVID seriously, they try to spin it like, oh, well, it's only really only old people who die or people with serious underlying conditions. And that's not true. Now, statistically, of course, if you're an older person or if you do have underlying conditions, you're more likely to be in danger from COVID. Yes, of course. I mean, that just makes sense. But, like Ron was saying in that story that he saw, there's just because you're young and healthy, or maybe not necessarily young, but you're healthy and strong, that's no guarantee that, if you're lucky, yeah, you might just have very mild symptoms. You might even be asymptomatic, but there's no guarantee. And there have been young, healthy people who have gotten very, very sick, who have not recovered quickly, who have been who are what they call long haulers, people who continue to deal with either symptoms or the aftermath when maybe the symptoms themselves recede, but they have permanent damage like scarring to their lungs, which makes it difficult to breathe. People who are going to have to deal with these issues for the rest of their lives, who are young and or healthy, but COVID, got them pretty severely, and they're going to be feeling the effects of it for the rest of their lives. And there are people who that has happened to, and as Ron was pointing out, just because you're a healthy person doesn't mean you can be cocky about it and just be like, oh, I don't care if I get it, I'll be fine. That is the attitude that some people take. It's not the correct attitude to have for a couple of reasons. One is, don't take for granted that you're going to be fine. You may not. You may actually die. Yes, there have been young, healthy people who've gotten COVID and died. Again, statistically unlikely, but it does happen. There's been children who have died from COVID. But also, too, by the way, you might be a young person, you might be healthy, you might be cocky about it and think, well, you don't care because you'll be fine. Even if you are fine, while you have it, who might you be spreading it to? Who will not necessarily be fine? That is what is so frustrating to me about the COVID deniers, the anti-maskers, the people who refuse to take it seriously. It's not all about you. It's also about the people around you. It's about the people you come in contact with every day. It's about the essential workers who you come in contact with every day, who have to go out and make a living, who don't have the option to stay home and avoid all of this. Oh, and by the way, the healthcare workers who've been working, 18 hours a day wearing those big, heavy N95 masks for months and months now, who are just past the breaking point. What about them? And maybe they won't end up taking care of you, but they might end up taking care of someone you unknowingly infected. That's why I get so angry. That's why I get so frustrated with Americans who just don't care. Like, Thanksgiving, we're in the middle of a global pandemic and everybody says, yeah, let's pack the airports and fly all over the place. We don't care. It's just, it's depressing to me. That's why it's good for me to be reminded, that there's also people who do positive things. Like when I walk in here and I see how successful the wonderful, the Miracle on Elm Street is this year, that Peter White and Matt Cushane, they work together on this every year and do a phenomenal job. And people clearly really have stepped up this year. It's impressive. And that helps to restore some of my faith in humanity, which is a great thing, selfishly. Because my faith in humanity has been severely damaged by what I see as the selfishness and the narcissism and the just sociopathy, the mass sociopathy of Americans who just don't care how many people get sick and die. They just don't care. They're like, whatever. I'm not gonna put on a face mask. I'm not gonna make any sacrifices. I'm just gonna go about my business. And meanwhile, people are dying, and they just don't care. We have another call here. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's Pauly C. How are you?
Pauly C. from Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. What are you doing on the air?
Well, so I received a text message from the great Peter White, who, of course, as some people know and some people don't, Peter White, not only the host of the morning show with Peter White, but the program director here at WMNH. And he texted me and he said, hey, tonight's Weekly Die-On is a replay and it's an old one. And so it's kind of out of date. So if you want to stay on for a bonus hour, you can. And I texted him back and I said, oh, hell yes. I didn't actually say that exactly. I said something like that.
Of course, that's what you're going to say.
Of course. And he knew that. I've grown predictable. But, so here I am.
All right, I'm going to go say hello to you.
You're saying hello right now.
I'm going to come in and say hello to you.
Very good. Are you in the building already?
I'm about to walk in, so I'll see you in about 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, very good. I'll see you then.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Pauly C. from Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. will be here live in the studio, presumably at the news desk. Very exciting, very exciting. Of course, you can hear Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. every Friday night right here live on WMNH from 8 to 10 p.m., and I am Paul's co-host on that show, along with our great friend Dan Randlett, and we have a wonderful time. Hey, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Very, very exciting. Let's see. What's going on in the Facebook live chat here? Oh, Jeff Nine posted a link to that from Fox News. Biden to call for 100 days of masking. 100 days of masks after the inauguration. I wonder if that means, I don't think he's going to try to do, I assume he's not going to try to do a national mask mandate. Let's see. Oh, a lot of comments in here. Rob Dion says, I'm very glad Jeff and family are okay. Yes, of course, Jeff Nyhan. Tom Blanchard says, we lost 6 veterans since Tuesday. Thank you so much for your service. Wow. Eric Street says, I saw the 100-day masking rule on TV as well. Rob Dion says, Bosquen has been devastated. It's very sad. Jenny is in the Facebook live chat and says, community spread means asymptomatic spreaders. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about that. You know, something they've never quite been able to determine is how many people who get infected with COVID are asymptomatic spreaders. So in other words, they're walking around without any symptoms. So they have no idea that they have it, but they're spreading it to other people. And unfortunately, that is a symptom, no pun intended, I promise, of how our government has really failed us on this, because we don't have a national testing strategy and a national contact tracing strategy. In other words, we have failed to do what some other governments have done, which have been very successful in driving down their COVID numbers. And because of the lack of testing, I mean, it's gotten incrementally better, but it's been left up to the states. And some states have done better with it than others. But because of the lack of testing, obviously there's a lot of people who've been walking around having no idea that they're carrying the virus, completely asymptomatic, but they're walking around and, you know, through no fault or of their own, they don't know, but they're walking around spreading the virus, giving it to whoever knows how many people. And, you know, unless we're able to get testing on a mass scale, we'll never know, you know, how many asymptomatic spreaders there truly are. It would be helpful to know that for a variety of reasons. You know, Brian Mackey, who is in Idaho, talked about how, you know, he tried to get tested and went weeks and weeks with a headache that wouldn't go away. He suspected he might have it, couldn't get a test. And then eventually he was finally able to get a test for the antibodies, and it showed that he did have the antibodies. So he had, in fact, been infected by it. There's my bike. Oh. By the way, Stefan in the Facebook live chat says, I was in a meeting and one of the attendees was expressing his displeasure about wearing a mask for the meeting, but had to leave early for a colonoscopy. Palm to the forehead. Really? Forehead, not forehand. Really? WTF. Yes, there you go. Well, taking his rightful place at the news desk, my friends, here he is, Pauly C.
Good afternoon.
Are you going to keep the mask on during the show?
No.
Okay, good. You sound better without it.
Yes, thank you.
And we are socially distanced here in the studio. It's a nice big... You know what occurred to me the other day?
What's that?
Is that, I don't know if you've thought of this, but what would we have done? Because remember, when WMNH first went on the air, we were upstairs in that much smaller studio.
Yes.
We wouldn't have been able, if we were still in that little studio, we wouldn't be able to be on the air right now, probably.
No, that's right.
Or everyone would have to do their shows with no in-studio guests at all.
Right. It would only be one-on-one type of thing.
One-on-one. Oh, you like the Hall & Oates, right?
I love the Hall & Oates.
Yes. Rob Dion is in the Facebook live chat and says, welcome to Pauly C.
Welcome, Robbie. Welcome.
Yes. What do we have planned for this week's Retro Spectrum Radio, Paul?
We're going to have a lot of fun, man.
I like fun.
And thankfully to the audience, or for the audience, they won't have to listen to a whole lot of talking this weekend.
Oh. When
we're on the air, because we're going to be doing a lot of music this weekend with the subject matter at hand. We're going to be playing a lot of music that was very popular at one point in time when it came out.
Yes.
And then, unlike songs like Journey's, what's the name of that horrific Don't Stop Believing?
You don't like that song?
No, I'm not a big Journey fan in the first place. No. But, you know, unlike these songs that were popular back in the 80s and 90s and are still around today to the point where you want to jump out a window when you hear them on the radio because you've heard them way too many times now.
Yes.
There's this enormous, staggering payload of music that was popular when it came out that you just don't hear anymore. by band, not just one-hit wonders, but by bands that have been around for decades.
Yeah, true.
We're going to do a whole segment on the Stones. I mean, there's some Rolling Stones songs from the 80s and 90s that were way popular when they came out.
Right.
And now they're just not, you don't hear them anymore. You've completely forgotten about them.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing that all night long. I've had such a blast this week putting this show together.
Yeah.
Because I'm digging up these songs that I haven't heard in forever as well, you know? So it's going to be everything from Great White to Joe Jackson, the Stones, like I mentioned, a bunch of one-hit wonders like the band After the Fire, who put out a song called Der Kommissar. Alles ja, Der Kommissar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
In fact, I do remember that.
That song's got a good little bit of trivia to it because, you know, when that song came out in 1982 or 83, it was actually a remake of a German song called Der Kommissar by Falco.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Peter White had always been under the impression that the original English version that was always on MTV every 20 minutes, which we will be playing on Friday, was by Falco.
Okay.
Which, in fact, Falco doesn't speak a word of English, so it was not him.
Yeah.
The two songs sound very much identical, but when Falco's singing his original version of it, it's night and day. But, you know, it's German. He's singing the lyrics in German, so you have no friggin' idea what he's saying.
Right, right.
But,
does he mention Wiener Schnitzel?
Not in that in the radio edit. He doesn't mention Wiener Schnitzel.
That's disappointing.
But,
I said it wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, V, not W.
Yeah.
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel or something.
Yes. No, I think he mentions that in the 12-inch dance version.
Good.
Of that song.
Ooh, are you going to play that one?
No,
Okay.
no, allotted for time.
Oh,
but if you want, we can turn it down and we can a cappella the Wiener Schnitzel line.
Nice,
Yes.
nice. Well, you know, it's funny. A lot of artists get labeled as one-hit wonders who aren't actually one-hit wonders, but people forget. It's funny, too. Some artists, I think, in a way, they almost become victims of their own success, and that because they have that one song that is so iconic, it makes it that much easier for people to forget that they had more than one hit. Like, I'll even give you an example that I've thought about. Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night.
Yep.
People think of him because everybody remembers that song, and that's such an iconic song.
But they don't remember Never Surrender.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do this weekend.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
So if it's all big hit songs, then we won't be hearing any deep album cuts.
It's going to be. I'm going to classify this episode as actually deep album cuts. Matt.
Really? Oh, very
because
exciting.
even though these songs weren't deep album cuts, today they would be considered that because you haven't heard these songs in 30 years.
Oh, yes.
So they will be deep album cuts by bands that we all know and love.
Wow.
Men at Work, do you remember the song Be Good Johnny?
Yes.
That'll be one of the songs we play this weekend.
Oh.
So we're going to have a lot of fun kicking back. Listen to everything from, like I mentioned in my post, you know, it's everything from when you listen to MTV at all hours of the night when you were a teenager, to cruising Elm Street and listening to WAAF and BCN, to roller skating over at the Happy Wheels with DJ Steve Light.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so we're going to be touching base on all of those. And hopefully Steve will call in and give his 2 cents on Friday night.
Oh, very good.
Yes,
Very good.
Would love to hear from him.
Now, are you participating tomorrow morning? Because tomorrow's a big day on the morning show, right? With the Miracle on Elm Street?
Yeah, I'll be sitting here tomorrow morning with Peter.
So what's going to be happening exactly? Because I try to, I try to talk about it on my show, but because I'm not.
Yeah, sure.
I don't usually hear the morning show live because I'm not an early riser.
Right,
so
no, you're not.
So I miss out on some of the details, but I don't know if you heard me saying earlier that I love seeing,
This room is full of gifts.
I genuinely love, it does my heart good to see this and how successful that this has been this year because, as I think you know, Paul, in fact, we had a conversation about this off air. My faith in humanity has been severely damaged.
I heard that, yes,
in the COVID era, but it helps kind of reboost my faith in humanity a little bit when I see the generosity of people, and I put it on the wide shot on the camera so people watching online can see. And you can't even see all the corners of the room, all the stuff, all the donations.
It's like Christmas morning in here when I was a kid. I was in a house with 5 kids, living in the north end of Manchester. So we were pretty all set for life there, at the time.
Yeah.
So my father and mom and Santa Claus would fill my living room with presents, and this is what it looks like. I mean, it's packed in here from end to end, with the exception of the seating area where we're at. But everything behind me, there's got to be at least $10,000 worth of gifts in here.
I don't remember it being this full last year.
Right.
This is incredible.
Yeah, so anyway, along the lines of what that is, now the Miracle on Elm Street, last year, and every year actually, Matt Cushane has a drive to collect money and gifts for children in the state.
Yes.
In the city, I should say. And this year we couldn't have it. Last year it was a huge event at Dairyfield. There were a lot of people there. It was such a wonderful time to be there and be around so many wonderful people. And when you walked into that function room, half of that room was full of gifts, too. There was this little Christmas tree in the corner with mountains of presents that just superseded the height of that tree.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful. And there was a full spread of food, and a lot of famous Manchester people were there, including the mayor for a few minutes. And this year, naturally, we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So Peter and Matt arranged to have it up here in the studio where, the gifts are obviously pouring in. The Bridge Cafe today donated $1,000.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and tomorrow what we're going to be doing is filing people in and out to say hello for a few minutes who want to come down to the studio and drop off a gift and so forth. It's not going to be anything where the room is going to be full of people. I think we're going to have 3 people in here max at a time.
Yeah, of course.
Including Peter and I.
Yeah.
So it'll be just, filing in and out, saying hello, giving our thanks to them for participating, and dropping off a gift. 2 bicycles sitting here in the...
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, those are beautiful bicycles, too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we also have the Baker's Dozen, the Pauly C. Baker's Dozen tomorrow morning.
Oh,
yeah.
Who's the, there's usually a specific person it's about, right?
No, that was just a couple of rounds we did.
Oh, okay.
You really don't get up that early in the morning, do you?
No,
or do you just not listen to Wednesday's shows and replay?
No, because I'm usually up. I'm up very, very late.
Yeah,
very, very late.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah. So I'm not an early riser.
Sure. Right. So we're going to do that tomorrow. At 8 a.m. we'll have the Baker's Dozen, which will be just. Peter thinks that it's going to be Christmas trivia. Yeah. But when I sat down last night to start building this, like with every week, my mind goes completely blank as far as building these questions, because I don't look up these questions and just jot them down. I create every single question, which takes 3-4 hours a night.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So
you really put a lot into it.
14 questions. And what I do is I watch a lot of old retro commercials on TV, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've been watching the Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour when John Bowser from Sha Na Na used to host it, and in the early 80s, in 1984 or so, mid-80s.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of my ideas off just them reading the questions on Hollywood Squares, not using them, but developing ideas just from the wacky questions that are asked on that show. That show lasted a season, I think. It was awful. Awful. John Bauman should remain Bowser and not be a game show host.
I remember Sha Na Na. My dad and I watched it when I was a kid, and we loved it. But, I don't remember what he did after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny seeing him there because it's the same with us, growing up in a house where we just listen to lots of... I think I get my retro thing from my father because whenever we would go on road trips and stuff, he would have Sha Na Na and Elvis and Bobby Vinton because that was my mom's favorite. And... all this older stuff. And, to see John Bauman wearing a sweater and sports jacket and have 80s hair and not make the sha-na-na voice. You know, he just has a normal announcer voice, I guess, when he's not doing the Bowser thing. So that in itself is sitting and watching for an hour, you know? Just watching that, you're fascinated. It's like watching a fire.
Right. By the way, Stefan in the Facebook live chat is asking about tomorrow night. Will there be any songs from In Excess, Shuba Shuba?
Shabu Shaba.
Oh, Shabu Shuba?
Shabu Shaba.
Okay.
Yes.
What is that? Is that an album?
That's their first album.
Oh.
It's the one thing. Their original hit.
I don't even remember that
your
song.
voice is a love song.
Yes. I like that song. That's actually one of the few In Excess songs I really like.
Yeah.
I was never a huge fan.
Very good too. Oh, really? I was really into it In Excess.
I liked them well enough.
Yeah.
I was never a huge fan.
I mean, they had their share of lame tunes, I guess you could say, but that's one of these bands where their music either sucks or it's fantastic. There's no really, I can take it or leave it type of song with them, as far as I'm concerned anyway. And the good songs that In Excess has, and there are many, are fantastic. Great singing, brilliant songwriting, Matt.
Oh.
They might have collaborated with Gene Simmons on that.
They might have,
right?
Yes. Gene Simmons of
Kiss. That's right.
Yes.
I heard that he called your show again for the first time in ages.
He did, yes. Yeah. Yes, he did.
Sounded like he was off his game, though.
Really? Well, he hadn't called in a while. You know, he's been holed up at home.
Right. Yeah.
They still have like 150 shows left on their end of the road tour.
Yes.
That they, that was interrupted. They would have been. It probably would have been done by now had not COVID happened. But
wouldn't it be ironic if they were never able to finish their 18th farewell tour? Just being able to end it at all.
It's not their 18th farewell tour. Everyone makes that joke, but it's not accurate.
Well, okay.
They had one farewell tour.
All right. When was the goodbye tour then?
The farewell tour with the last tour of the original lineup in.
Okay, so there's reasons. 2001.
2001, yeah.
Yeah. Dan and I saw them with the original in 2001.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on the air. That was quite an evening.
That was the farewell tour.
Yes.
That's the only farewell tour they ever did.
Well, what is this tour called?
This is the end of the road tour. So this is the farewell of the band entirely, but it's not the original lineup.
So the farewell tour, they were just saying farewell to Peter and Ace.
Well, I think at the time they really thought it was going to be it, but then they did decide to.
Right.
Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were like, "Well, we're still young enough to do this. It's not. We don't need those guys. They're a pain in the ass."
I'm just waiting for the We're Back tour, which is going to be immediately followed by the Farewell Forever tour. Or whatever.
I think Father Time might have other ideas. I think this really is the end.
You think so?
Yeah, Gene Simmons is 70 years old. This is it.
How old's Paul?
Paul is 67, 68. I think he just turned 68.
Wow, so
a couple of years younger.
He's a little bit younger than Gene.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I think this is it. Gene Simmons has often said, because he wears, they all wear the big outfits and whatnot, but Gene's outfit is particularly cumbersome.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't really want to be like, he said in an interview with, he was on Larry King's show, but Dennis Miller was guest hosting for him, and he said to Dennis Miller, he's like, by the time this tour wraps up, I'm going to be 72. I don't want to be 72. Or he said something about, I don't want to be 73 and trying to lumber around with all that stuff and the big cod piece and everything. It's very heavy.
Right.
Very heavy. He's always said that, because the Rolling Stones obviously are even older, but he's always said that Kiss will retire before the Rolling Stones do.
It's not easy being the God of Thunder.
Right.
And Dr. Love.
Right.
You think he takes alternate days where one day he's the God of Thunder and the next day he's Dr. Love?
No, he's all these things at once. He's the demon. He's Gene Simmons.
That's true.
Yes.
Silly me.
Yes.
He's the ultimate multitasker.
Right. Right.
All right, Matt. Well, I just stopped by to say hello. I'm on my way home. I was going to go up and work, but there are a couple of shows not showing up tonight, so Kyle was good enough to sit up there for me.
Oh, very good. I saw him come to the door and wave earlier.
Oh, was that him?
Yes.
Who you waved to?
That was Kyle. Kyle Heavey, host of Off the Mark Sports.
Great guy.
Yes.
Great show, too. If you're into the sports thing, check that out, man.
Absolutely.
I'm not even really a sports enthusiast, but I had the radio on 95.3 this past weekend, and I found myself listening to it.
Yeah.
So he will intrigue you.
Yes.
Along with you, Matt. So I'm going to let you continue to intrigue. Oh, it looks like you have a phone call.
We have a call, yeah. Well, we'll grab this. This could be for you.
It could be. Hello.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Oh, there's nobody
It was
there.
for me.
It was
the
for
same
you.
kind of calls we get on Retro Spectrum Radio.
Wow.
Right
Oh, that's right. Yes.
All right, gang. Have a good one.
All right, Paul. Thank you. All right, Paul Cormier leaves us, or Pauly C., host of Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C., and of course, he'll be here tomorrow morning, bright and early on the morning show. Make sure you tune in for that. For the, it's going to be quite a day tomorrow with the. Thanks, Paul. Quite a day tomorrow with the Miracle on Elm Street, and looks like we have a call again, or could be somebody new. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. This is Ron. Was it Pauly C. that did the banquet thing, or was it the other guy?
Oh, the last year?
Yeah, the thing that I heard on the radio last night that was talking about banquet. They were doing shows from 5 years ago. Was that the person who did it?
Oh, you're talking about Retro Spectrum Radio. Yeah, that was Paul's.
Yeah.
That was a previous iteration of Retro Spectrum Radio.
I wish I would have called in earlier. I would have brought over some banquet.
Oh yeah. That was from that clip was from 5 years ago that Paul played.
No, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if he was the person that I was listening to last night.
Oh, yeah. Nope, that was him.
What a shame. I wish I would have called in earlier and brought it up. It would have been good for a memory lane thing.
Oh, that's okay. Well, hey, call tomorrow morning. He's going to be here. You can call into the morning show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
All right, Ron.
Good night, sir.
All right, thank you. Good night. Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. We have a few minutes left. If anyone wants to get in with a last-minute call, we have just a few minutes left in this special bonus hour of Matt Connarton Unleashed. If you're looking for the weekly die-on, I assume that that will be returning live next week. But I am here. I had the opportunity to fill in for this hour and do an extra hour of my show. If you're not familiar with me, if you've stumbled upon me by accident while looking for the weekly die-on, my name is Matt Connarton. I'm the host of Matt Connarton Unleashed, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. right here on WMNH 95.3 FM. But I had the opportunity to do a bonus hour this week, this Thursday night. So here I am. If you'd like to call, just a few minutes left, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. Let's see. Eazy-G in the Facebook live chat says, sorry, Matt, I am not a fan of Kiss at all. How dare you? That's okay. Can't all like the same stuff. I'm laughing at Stefan's comments. Someday I will call in. My clients won't stop texting, emailing, and calling me. Well, that's a good problem to have, Stefan Philbrook. That is a good problem to have. Let's see. Tom Blanchard says we need bouncers at all the businesses to keep the a-holes out. Yeah, a lot of anti-maskers still. I mean, it's gotten better. It's gotten better since the mask mandate, but there's just a lot of anti-maskers. You know, I've been saying from the beginning, I think what has saved us in New Hampshire and why we have done well compared to the rest of the country, although the entire country is a hot spot now, but why we've at least done better than most states is I think it's our lack of mass transit here. No subway systems, no commuter rail, so you don't have all those people packed in during their morning or evening commutes. But it certainly isn't because everybody masks up and follows the rules, because for a lot of New Hampshire residents, that is clearly not on the menu, which is unfortunate. By the way, Jenny pointed out in the Facebook live chat that, you know, Fox News, of course, they're spinning it like Joe Biden is doing a mask mandate when because, you know, Fox would tend to spin it that way. when in actuality, I found the comment. She says, of course, Fox tries to spin it. The others are reporting Biden will ask, not mandate people to wear a mask. But, even where there is a mask mandate, here in New Hampshire, our governor did issue a mask mandate. Now, there's no penalty. It's not like you're going to get fined or arrested or something for not wearing a mask. So there's no real consequence to it. But I think that where it can be helpful is it kind of gives businesses, if you're running a business, if you own or manage a business and you have people who are coming in and out of your business all day, every day, if there's a mandate, it kind of helps back you up. If you want to try to be strict with your customers and say, hey, look, you've got to wear a mask coming into my store. Now there's a mandate, and I, as a business owner, I could be fined or closed down if I don't enforce this. So you have to follow the rules. So, if you're running a business where you really want to follow the rules, I think the mandate kind of helps back you up. Because a lot of people will just, and I'm sure every business owner everywhere is dealing with it, a lot of people just, they don't want to wear a mask because it's, what about my freedom and my liberty and Donald Trump and blah, blah, blah. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to care about other people. This is all a hoax anyway. And, so it's like I always say, you can walk into almost any convenience store around here or, the local Rite Aid or whatever. Actually, we have a few of them here in Manchester. You can walk into almost any one of these places and, there's just people walking in and out, no masks. I do think the maskers outnumber the anti-maskers at this point. A couple of months ago, it was the opposite, in my opinion. So it's gotten better. But there's still people who just don't care. So if a business wants to insist on following the rules, I think the mask mandate kind of helps them to do that. Let the government be the bad guy. Don't you as a business owner have to be the bad guy necessarily. Let's see. Speaking of businesses, by the way, before we run out of time, I want to remind you all, please continue to support our wonderful sponsor on Matt Connarton Unleashed, the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street, right across the street. They do everything very safely there, by the way. The staff is masked at all times. The tables are nice and spread out. They keep everything very clean, very safe there, and they have delicious food and beverage. The wonderful gourmet pretzels there at the Hop Knot. And they do carry out and delivery as well. The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Kenny from the Hop Knot was here on Monday. If you missed Monday's show, you can find it. All the shows are archived at WMNHradio.org. So if you miss anything, be it this show, the morning show, Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C, whatever it may be, all the shows are there for your enjoyment. It is an on-demand world, so you can access that content on demand at your leisure. Also, too, don't forget our other great sponsors here at WMNH, like Queen City Cabinetry, our friend Mike Pelopita, who's a big supporter, and, of course, the OG of WMNH sponsors, CGI Business Solutions. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Paul, for stopping in earlier. Thank you, all the callers who joined me on this 3-hour tour. The youngins won't know the reference, but that's okay. The young people, the rest of you got it. This has been wonderful. This has been a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in for the morning show tomorrow morning for the Miracle on Elm Street. And, of course, tomorrow night, Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C, 8 to 10 p.m. And I will be back here tomorrow afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m. for Matt Connarton Unleashed. And with that, I think we should play this one more time. I opened the show with it. I think I'm going to close the show with it. A little Pardons Around the Christmas Tree by the great Rocky Mountain Mike to close out today's edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Thanks, everybody.